suspended professional license. New system with that. So we just had this funding more maybe 3 years. We've been doing this 17 years and didn't get anything for it. So now there's some people that come to us. They're not brothers, but they come in there. They know what those services is. You know what I'm saying? So we be trying to get young men in there to get these services, because child support, if we do it alone, 90 days. We've been involved in the program. We also partner with Career Source, they're part of this funding. So it's a great opportunity for young men. And it says non-custodial, but whether they're non-custodial or not, if they're paying child support, we're there to try to assist them. Now, there's a difference between this program and Young Fathers in Florida. Young Fathers in Florida help all fathers figure primarily up to age 24, but we do have programs that's past 24. We even work with grandparents, right? Father figures. So those programs are different. In order to be in the employment program, you have to be paying child support. To get in one of the other programs with Young Fathers in Florida, such as our Daddy Dad mentoring program, our parent training, you don't have to be in the employment program. Right? You don't have to be in that program with the service proposal. We had a gentleman that came in the other day, and he didn't have money for a cap and gown for his son. He heard him on the phone right across there. Just to hear the little boy, kind of, and Father was sitting there, he looking at me, I was looking at him. I said, man, go get that boy that cap and gown. I said, we might not get reimbursed for it, we weren't going to let him go out there. This was a grown man, this was a brother. And so that's the employment program we get reimbursed for our expenses. That's Young Fathers in Florida. That's totally different. So I just wanted you to know that there's that difference. Then we have a call to action mentoring program on Thursday. But what we do there is we seek mentors. So if you know any individuals out there who want to be a mentor, we want to invite them to this program just so they can, this evening, just so they can understand what mentoring is. Because it hurts me to hear men say things like, man, I would like to be a mentor, but I can't afford it right now. I said, what can't you afford right now? But for some reason, he thinks that he has to spend money in order to be a mentor. So it's a night where we talk about mentorship. Let people know you can be a landscaper, you can be a plumber, you don't have to be a doctor or lawyer. You don't have to. I had one guy tell me, he said, man, I never got my degree, so he couldn't be a mentor. In his mind, he thinks he has to have a degree there. For some reason, society had these men thinking that, so they're afraid of mentorship. They don't know what it is. Then I had a gentleman who was mad at me because I didn't let him have 3 mentees. Because he had money. He said, I can afford it. I said, man, you listen to the picture. It's not about affording. And we have a 10-hour training that each mentor goes through. Our Daddy Dad mentor, where we match an older dad with a younger dad. For a 1-year commitment. All right, so we're going to talk about mentoring. And then Friday is the community resource night, where we invite different community agencies in to discuss their resources in the community. And this year is something different. We've been getting a lot of donated clothes, shoes, sneakers, and really good stuff. And so we're going to be giving all that out on that night as well. So all these events are going to be held at Grand Avenue Community Center. You all familiar with Grand Avenue? I think it's one of the largest community centers in the city. It used to be an old school. So that's where we're going to hold that. And then on Saturday, we have a father's dinner that's free to anyone that registers. So if you know a father, and we allow them to bring their children, their child's mother. So those that work with us know that we're definitely not into this mother against father. We don't work like that. We don't operate like that. I have to be a store security certified family mediator also, so we do mediation constantly. And that's the one thing we want our young men to know, that we've had to kick plenty of young men out coming in there and talking about BICCA. I said, bro, we don't talk like that. We're not interested in that. If that's how you talk about your baby mama, then we're not interested in you being a part of any of our programs. So we have to let them know. Same thing we let baby mamas know. Don't come here talking about he ain't this, he ain't that. It's not social media. What's that station? Tubi? Yeah, Tubi. Ain't no damn Tubi. You know? You gotta let them know that. Because that's when they come in there and want to talk about people. Everybody that know me and know what we do, we're not interested in that. We're talking about responsible fatherhood. You be responsible for your actions. You be responsible. We're trying to make you an asset in the community, not a liability. So that's what we're trying to take men from. Liabilities to assets, to themselves, to their family, and to their community. If you're not willing to do that, then we're not willing to spend time and effort with you. You don't waste a lot of time. We don't run no damn body down there. So if you ever refer people to me, they say, I keep kicked all of the ass out. That's what happened. So letting people know, well, I sent a young man to you and they told me that you kicked him out. Yeah, because he came in there cursing. Talking this. One guy, you know, that, what that there was Haki at? He told my baby mama this. I said, man, let me tell you your big butt something. Man, look up at it. That's all right. Okay, that's the week. This is our 18th year, and we're glad to have you a part of our first night. All right? So, what I'm going to do at this point is we're going to go around the room and just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your services, what it is you do. Because what I want at this night, I want everyone in here to at least eyeball a person and know what they do. So when they have that reference on this person or that, they'll know who to call. They'll know who to reach out to. Okay? I want to start with my staff.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bossy Crawford. I'm a commercial real estate agent, commercial advisor. Outside of that, I've been supporting Haki with Young Fathers in Potential Florida for about a year now. I don't know what my title is exactly. I kind of do a lot of things. I'm happy to have you all here and looking forward to this conversation.
He's been working with us for a year, but he's been with us for quite a few years. And I saw the responsibility he had as a young man. You don't bring people along like that. So he was impressive with the way he dealt with people. And that's a big thing with us. The guys always know how he never let us come work with you. Because, a lot of young men, or a lot of older brothers too, they have to deal with their internal biases about young men. You have some of them, I'm not interested in you coming in and talking about, look at that, he's hanging down. You're not the person for this. You're not the person to work with other men, young men, and to see that they need our help. That's why I tell all these older cats who, how can you go play golf with us no more? Because if you can't, those that don't golf, if a guy can play, you got to pay 4 or 5 hours. And if they can't play as long, you can't mentor a young man for at least 4 hours a month. They ain't got no time to go out to the golf course with you. If you can't mentor a young man for 4 hours a month, give me 2 hours a month. Mentor a young man. Our dad did that mentoring program. Our older dad mentors a younger dad for a 1-year commitment. So if you can't put your time and effort in to do that, then we have no time for you. So I don't allow guys to come with us who are not dealing with their own hatred for our own people. And talking about the men, I keep all these young men listen to you because But maybe I'm saying something and you're not saying nothing. Instead of criticizing. Do they need criticism? Yes, they do. A lot of constructive. You know, so if we don't spend time for that, then we're not going to end up anywhere. They're going to continue to be liabilities.
Hi everyone, my name is Giovanni. The way I know Mr. Aki is through job. We've been friends for the last 4 years since high school. And through him, I got the pleasure to know Mr. Aki. About a year ago, we started working together, and we kind of threw out the idea of starting Young Fathers in Los Angeles, since I reside out there for the last 8 years. And we're finally starting it out there, and hopefully we'll be launched pretty soon, maybe next year. And the reason I got involved with Young Fathers is because I think the future lies in our children's hands. And we live in a society today that likes to beat up men a lot. And men are kind of just known out in there, you know, on their own. And I think men today definitely need help, especially younger. And Mr. Aki has been more of a father figure in my life. I'm my own father, and I've learned a lot from him. And we need more young fathers across the country. So, yeah.
He was running our LA office. I told him we methodically get to point A to point B. We just don't rush it through. So there's work to be done out there. So we're actually on it. We're working on goals. So he came here the following week for this week. We're launching the first following week in LA, 2026. You know, right? So he will be here.
Hello everyone. Some of you might know me. My name is Giant Kuma. I do web development and branding. I've been working with Young Fathers since I started. My dad. I don't particularly have a title either. But, you know, whatever needs to be done, I try to show up as best as I can. But it's good to meet you all. I'm glad to be here.
We don't get tired.
Good evening, I'm Denise White. I've been attending the Young Fathers Center for a conference for a decade. And as a sponsor during my daytime job with the Florida Department of Health in Seminole County. Give this to how each decide. He has a wonderful story about Orange County versus Seminole County, but I'm now with the state office, the Office of Minority Health. I am here because I'm a mother of 3 Black young men that become fathers. But representation, I sit around the table. I'm also the founder of Black Greeks in Public Health, which is an online platform to help many of the Greek organizations, because you always know educators who are Greek, you know, but those who are in public health, many of us have initiatives and agendas that as we work together, we can accomplish for things. So to reach out to me, and you also want to do grant writing. When I reach out to me about the grant writing, the hat that I'm wearing today is after 5 p.m. is the founder of Black Greek and Public Health.
A lot of green over there. There's something going on, a lot of green.
My name is Kim Johnson, and I'm excited to be here because this is actually my first time being a part of the conference in probably a very, very long time. So I've known Mr. Hakeem probably when it was a visit, maybe, right? It was a visit.
She was running here. She was running this.
Yeah, he probably this is very first time. So I'm so happy to hear all the wonderful So I am the present CEO of a 45-year-old anti-hunger organization. So I keep asking you to be here tonight, and this time say whatever you need to share. So, but I'm excited to be here because as an anti-hunger organization, there's a lot of things that you all know that's going on in DC right now, and there are some major issues that are transpiring. There's major votes that are getting ready to happen that are going to affect our families. And I feel that our children, our families need to know what's about to happen. If it does go through, we're praying that it doesn't. But if it does, and they cut SNAP, and they cut Medicaid the way that they are saying they are, it's going to be a devastating blow for our moms, for our grandmas, veterans, and just our community in general. So I just felt like this was probably perfect timing because I'm on the mission now to try to spread the word out into our community. Whoever will listen, to be able to educate our community members, our pastors, our just leaders about what is about to happen. Because our children and our families are going to be knocking on the doors of the places that they can count on, like Callahan, and we might not have what we need. So we need to know what's about to happen. So I just wanted to be here because we got about 3 weeks before the vote. The vote is supposed to happen on July 4th. So I have 3 weeks to kind of statewide, we're a statewide organization. I just don't have to live in Apopka, and I do lots of local work with the city as well as the county and the school system. But, this is my home. Orange County is my home. It's my community. So I need to let you all know what's about to happen so that you can help me spread the word so that we can be prepared for what's coming.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is David Robinson. I work for the Chamber of Commerce out in Daytona Beach. I head their political and advocacy affairs. I do a lot of work within the community groups, mostly within Volusia County. I was invited by colleagues on the side to be in. It's my first year partaking, so I'm looking forward to hearing from you all.
Hello everyone, my name is Todd Lowell. I apologize for being late. I went to break. Oh, that's it. But anyway, my name is Todd, and I'm glad to be here. I've been coming here for about 10 or 11 years now on my feet. And if I don't get here, I'm going to talk. But anyway, I still barbecue. I'm here locally, and I still barbecue. My started here in Fairmont, Robinson, Southern Barbecue, Portland. So I call myself Keep Up the Flame, so I keep that going. And I'm very active. I try to be active with young fathers in Central Florida. Being that I have 8 kids, I was a young father myself, and from 4 different women at that. So I know what it is, but at the same time, as bad as that may seem, I took care of my kids and I paid for support. And I did what I could. Father, so I wasn't an absent father because I didn't have a father. So I made sure that my kids would have what I did have. So that's a little bit about me.
Todd is a pillar in this community. He has helped us in so many ways simply because he's willing to share his story of having 8 children, 4 children, mother. And sometimes God is listening to him like this. So he don't know how valuable he is, that credibility. But God look at me and he's like, you ain't got no 4 or 5 baby mamas, but he does.
Right.
So, and what we do, a lot of young men, you got to be credible because they know. They know if you're just speaking from a book or from experiences. Or with me, I've been working with these guys for 30 years, so they kind of know. God is valuable. Helping these guys see the reality. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rachel Strickland Roberts, and like a few of y'all are aware that I have a business called Family Consulting, where I provide public health and nonprofit consulting services. Just about anything that has to do with programming, community-oriented programs we can help with and consult on. And then I also lead a nonprofit called Inspiration and Change. And we have a new program that's geared towards fathers. And our program is focused on co-parenting success. So we want to provide support in healthy co-parenting relationships. I had an opportunity, I have 2 kids, 2 fathers, but we all raised them together. And my kids is one of the things that they constantly tell us that made a big difference for them. And so I would want other people to have that experience. It wasn't always easy, but we did. And we can do it with our crazy selves. Anybody can do it. So we are working on helping with supporting fathers and helping co-parents and relationships.
What's the name of your agency?
Inspiration and change.
All right. My name is April Johnson. I'm kind of piggybacking, coming with Monisha. But I've been in the community over 30 years. I'm from the community, raised right here, went to school here. And I mostly do, started out with teen pregnancy prevention, moved over to the Center for Multicultural Wellness and Prevention, which is Dr. Marie-Jose Francois, HIV counseling and testing. But I worked with teen moms for years with Healthy Start and the program here, as well with Dr. Nina White when she had her program. So tied in with what Mr. Hakeem do, always refer people when he first started. I remember way back, I think I was at Frontline.
Yeah, well, how you think
I remember you. You remember me? I remember you.
And I'm also a product of Frontline. I was a teen mom, and I went through that program with Dr. C.R. Smith, so I know all these grassroots. So I am excited to be here, and everything that we do correspond with the pregnant moms. Definitely, it's a dance somewhere around. So I'm here to do whatever, serve, and I love serving my community. And just like Ms. Hakeem said, I like to be a product of my community, because just like he said, they know when you fake it and when you ain't telling the truth. So I'm glad just to be here tonight to network and share my experiences.
And she forgot she's my sidekick.
Yeah, I've been outreaching for 30 years, so I definitely know this community.
And you know how they tell us veterans, thank you for your service.
You guys missed my daughter here, Tiffany, so she's a part of the group there, so.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Selena Dozier. I'm fairly new to the community. I moved here in 2019 from Arizona. I'm a living basketball Floridian.
Y'all are quick with that.
I am an associate lecturer at UCF. I teach civil, environmental, and construction engineering. And I also own a business called Track Baby and Me. I do music classes and events for babies, toddlers, and their parents. So we utilize music like hip hop and reggae and jazz and all the things. We focus on early childhood development and growth. So I've been doing that for about 3 years, and my son is 4 years old now. Additionally, I put on this event, maybe you've heard of it, the Orlando Kite Festival, which happens at Paramore, at A School in Paramore. We just had our second year, over 1,000 attendees in our second year. And it's an event that is geared towards building community, focusing on family bonding, and as an engineering professor, giving young students, Black students in particular, a fun way to be exposed to STEM. So, a little bit about what I just decided to be here.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Malcolm Jones. I'm with Connecting Young Fathers by way of Quasi. Thank you for inviting me. I'm originally from Tampa, Florida. I've been in Orlando since 2018. I'm a registered architect in my own firm called Miles Architecture and Design. I'm also an adjunct professor as well at the University of Florida, registered architecture. Orlando City, Black Downtown. And then lastly, I also have a nonprofit called Black Architects in Making Orlando. We introduce architecture to middle school and high school students and help to make more Black architects in the future. Excited to be, I'm also a father of two. So I hope I have a little bit of information and insight that I can handle to these young fathers. But glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Slow down a little, Malcolm, man. It's heavy stuff right here. Keep laying it out, boy. You gotta slow that down a little bit. Know what you're doing, boy. He said, I'm not baby. But I'm sure we get back. And it's funny just listening to them speak just on this side. And the things that they're doing is just, amazing. Kind of fast too, because a lot of you do so much. You're not in a rush. You don't have to rush to get through what you do. We want to hear. That's the main thing. We want to hear what it is that you do, And you wait till I start asking y'all what y'all side hustles are. That's a whole other thing. I used to always do that. Tell me what it is you do, then tell me your side hustle. Yeah, man, I've been a mechanic for 25 years. Everybody here needs mechanics. So, you know, everybody know me in here. I'll be asking you, I ask people, quick, what's your side hustle? What else do you do? So I know y'all just giving me your 9 to 5 right now. I know. So we'll deal with that for now. All right, next. No, we want to know who you are. Don't let your mama.
My name is Alexis Powell. I'm a student at FIU. I'm going into my sophomore year. Yeah. And I'm just here with my mom.
Okay, there you go.
So I'm Meredith Gonzalez Rivera. I have been practicing family law for more than 2 decades. I've been part of the Young Fathers of Florida since the beginning. Chucky has been involved. I've been happy to meet people like Todd Vaughn along the way. Might simmer down, and I still have to send him a bill for all the time, all the questions I have. But I am here because I wholly believe in this. I'm a family law attorney, but I've seen a lot of litigation over the years. I'm known for it. I'm known for representing fathers, but I'm known for also speaking on stages of women. When people ask me, am I pro-women or pro-men? No, I'm pro what's right, right? So I like to be at these conferences and whenever I can educate men, because sometimes when they call attorneys, we could have avoided all this a long time ago, right? And it's because they don't know. And what I hear often is that the Florida legal system is not good for fathers. And now that I've gotten the opportunity to live across country for 3 years, Florida is really good for fathers depending if you know, but the information's not there. So I love panels like this, and actually the whole week even more, because you get to empower and give the information out. And it just takes one father at a time to give to others. I brought my daughter here today because she is, although the last year's in her teens, because she's going to be 20, and we're thinking of writing a book of our stories, right? So I know how important she comes from a divorced home, and before she was too little to be in these conversations, but she wasn't. And she knows that I've always advocated, no matter what wrongs her father has done, to have a relationship with him. And I have always encouraged that. And I think that sometimes either men or women, it's like either all or nothing, and it's not. Because at the end of the day, is we have, our children that look up to us. And I'm happy to see your daughter because I've always seen your son, but I didn't even know you wanted us. But on my side hustle, so I have transitioned into more of my speaking business. So now I've been on boards of Chamber of Commerce with business leaders and whatever. So now I'm transitioning into speaking to empower in a larger scale, because I feel like I've done over 2 decades to mentor other young attorneys to do what I used to do, but I'm taking it to the stage to empower business leaders that sometimes every time I get off stage, there's a woman or a man who will never be vulnerable along other leaders because they don't want to share their stories. You don't know how many times I've gotten off stage and say I was arrested or not, from people, hiding. So I want to empower them and give them the tools, so we can make an impact in our house. But at the end of the day, I don't know who said it, people can smell when it's not coming from the heart, and it's coming from the heart, because this is my daughter, but I have a son, I have 2 beautiful kids, and I know how important it is to have both parents present.
Well, I'm so glad that you're doing that, because there's not a lot of lawyers that I like to work with. Mary Beth was one that was real, and she didn't have a bias to work with. I work with a lot of lawyers and attorneys that have a dislike and innate bias against men, but Mary Beth was like, okay, I'm gonna give these guys I'm gonna listen to them. And a lot of people don't listen to me, so I'm just glad Mary Beth came along with me years ago and
She's always here, so I respect her a lot.
So do I.
Todd remember has a thing because see, Todd's a child support guy. He know all about child support. And David, the guy who's coming, the regional director, he was in there with Todd one time. Todd was letting them have it, but David was holding it with him. Because see, Todd's been an assistant. He knows all, you know, he's been an assistant, so you can't just say anything. And I remember he was going at it with Mary Beth, and she looked at me like, "Who is this? I can't hold it." So Todd is valuable with that, and because he has that experience, and he's been, you know, taken advantage of by child support, so he can talk about it. So, but him and Mary Beth,
But she did an amazing job of trying to help me out with her office. She took out her time and, you know, she went through things. So she is about people.
yeah.
And she wants to give you an education and educate you with what you need. And like how he said, he surrounds himself with people such as her. So that's a great thing.
All right. Thank you.
Michael Bell, I am going to be brief. I recently met Kwasi and Hakeem. I don't represent an organization, but I would like to become more involved. I have been in Central Florida for about 30 years. I work out at the Kennedy Space Center, and I'm just interested in finding out what's going on.
What's your position?
I'm an industrial engineer. My current title is a Chief Knowledge Officer, so I work with knowledge management, knowledge sharing, lessons learned, storytelling.
Pull it out. Pull it out.
Hello, everyone. My name is Endon Perkins. I am a high school teacher here in the area. Our school is called Workforce Advantage Academy, which is down the street from Jones and Rio Grande, New Covenant Baptist Church on the campus, and it's 11th and 12th graders. And I've been with the school 11 years. Sorry, boss. And so I'm passionate about really learning about resources that can help our students. We have young men, women, but ages 16 up to 22, and we do have some students who are fathers. Our school is known though for it's a work or career academy. So I know you deal with employment, also the mentoring is a big piece that we try to have some mentors because our students come from Jones, Evans, Boone, Colonia, all the schools in Orange County. And so I'm just looking for an opportunity to connect, hear about resources and how we can better serve that population.
Yeah, good evening. You know, my name is Carl Monroe, and I'm with Workforce Advantage Academy, an Orange County Public Charter School. And we have 11th and 12th graders. As Ms. Perkins just mentioned, we have students that are looking for success and a way to be successful. And we hope that we can set that for them so that, you know, they can go on and enjoy their lives. And we know that fatherhood is huge. The family is huge. It's the bedrock. We've got to get into that house. We've got to get into it because by the time we get them at 16, 17, 18, 19, there's a lot of work to be done. There's some trauma that's going on. There's some hard lives that they've had. And so our job is to keep their eye on the prize. The prize is to graduate from high school. And we have the same requirements that every other school does. So our students must have a 2.0 GPA to graduate. They must have 24 credits to graduate. In the right subjects, of course, there's an 18 credit plan, but that depends on what your choices are after high school. They have to pass the state exam. And so we're about getting them to that point, moving them to that direction and that direction so that they can be successful, you know, as they go through their lives. We have students that have lost confidence in themselves, and we have to try and restore that. Our students, I call it a pre-college schedule, if you will. So we have an 8-week block schedule. So if you're in block A, you're in school on Mondays and Thursdays and every other Wednesday. And on Tuesdays and Fridays and every other Wednesday, you're working a regular job, 8 hours a day. If you're in Group B, it's just the opposite. So we don't have the students from A and B on campus at the same time unless you don't have a job. So if you don't have a job, you're in transition. We're getting you ready to go out and get a job. So we don't just send you out there without any skill sets. So that's what we do in order to get you ready. Now, just working our particular schedule, a student in our school can make $17,000 a year. Just in working our schedule. That means they would work 3 days one week and 2 days the next. 3 days one week and 2 days the next. And so we offer that as like, I'm going to give you something that I hope I can interest you enough that you want to give me something back. And that something back that we ask for is your mind. We ask you for that so that we can engage you in taking the steps necessary to move on to success. So what we know is that education is the key. Wherever that education comes from, I tell my students all the time, every day you're in school, whether you're in my classroom, in a seat, or on the street, or in someone's home, you are in school because you're learning whatever it is that's being taught out there. You know, they said whenever a student is ready, a teacher will appear. A teacher can teach some bad things, or they can teach some good things. So having said that, we're located on 2210 South Rio Grande. If you have a student that you know that needs some help, have them come see us. We have open house every Tuesday and Thursday during the summer from 7 until about 8:30. And we give families an opportunity to get to know our school. As you, we got our charter in 2003. We had our first class in 2004. We had our first graduation in 2006. And we have been graduating students ever since. So that's our story. Thank you.
May I just say something really quickly? Another thing that's really important to me, if anyone is in this space, is mental health, because that's huge with everyone, but certainly even with our young men and women. So that's something that interests me as well.
Yeah, mental health is an area that comes faster now. We did our first mental health series of workshops back in 2007 with Seminole Behavioral Health Care. People looking at us like we was crazy because Seminole Behavioral Health Care said we were the first fatherhood program they ever heard of that talked about young men's mental health. So it's become fashionable now, so people talk about mental health, but I just ask more questions, you know, exactly what does that entail? Because, you know, it's just like you know, I'm a vegan. Okay. I saw you eat chicken.
Good afternoon. My name is Joseph Caesar. I work for the City of Orlando, an organization called Paramore Kids Zone. We serve about 850 families in the Paramore and Holden Heights community, which include families that visit the Callahan neighborhood, Samuel Jackson, Grand Avenue, and the downtown Ray. Our programs are from birth to 25, and I've been partnering with Hakeem in the province of Florida since you moved here in 2005, 2006. I started here in this facility as assistant manager at Ms. Kim, and I've been doing this work ever since. So I know a lot of you guys in this room, and we have great relationships trying to help families that live in this community.
The rest of the week will be at Joe's facility, Grand Avenue. So he runs that facility. He's being modest, like everybody. A bunch of people being modest about what they do. But Joe and Kim was right here with me. I walked through the door, they welcomed me. And other people were looking at me, acting like I was crazy. Fatherhood program. Young fatherhood program? Never worked, huh? Yeah. I said, young father. My first book was how a young father that forgot. I wrote that for a reason because that's what we seem to do, to just forget about it. And now that you speak it more and more, I remember you. I do. You. Yes, April. Yeah, I know. Back in the day, the Beta Center was telling me I couldn't work with the mothers there because all the baby daddies was old and they didn't want to deal with legal issues. That's the debate. Who remember the Beta Center? The Beta Center told me, I said I wanted to work with the Mother's Day. And I said I could help them get in contact with the fathers, to build relationships. They said, no, we don't want to work with you. I said, why? They said, because most of our girls have older fathers, and they didn't want to get caught up in the old statutory rape. I said, you mean tell me all of your kids, all of the girls, there's 100 beds they had. It was 100 women. I said, all of them baby fathers are old? So, but once that director left, the new one came, then that's when we started working with them. And she couldn't believe they wouldn't let us go and work with them. You know, so some of the young men needed jobs, they just needed support. And that's all we was offering. We said, we're not going to even talk to the girls if you don't want us to. Just let us know the fathers and how we can contact them. So, but, okay, but yeah, Joe, everything will be at Grand Avenue. This is the first night that we're here. All right, next.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mario Alcino. I'm a program coordinator for the Early Childhood Court Program for the 9th Circuit. I also oversee Family Dependency Drug Court for the 9th Circuit. In our programs, we assist families to reunify with their families within the time period that they're given. How we do that is to provide them additional resources or support to not only succeed in the program, but to reach reunification as fast and safely as possible. This is my second year attending this meeting, so I always look forward to hearing other resources that are out there for the communities that serve our families. And thank you for the invite.
I appreciate it. If you don't get his email before you leave tonight, please do. Because every time I see his email come, I know it's information. And he's going to send that information to you, man. I can't wait to see you tonight to tell you thank you, brother. You don't realize the asset you are. He's going to send you some emails. So if you leave, before you leave out of here, I guarantee you, within the next week, you're going to get some emails from him. Valuable resources. All right, so thank you, brother. I appreciate this. I'm silly. Yeah.
Oh, good evening, everyone. It's normal. Good evening, everyone. My name is Derwin Boone. I am an Army combat veteran. I'm fairly new to the area. I've been here for about, I would say, six years now. Originally from Peoria, Illinois. And I can understand Brother Todd over there because divorced, 3 kids, 8 child. And it's really rough being a young man because you just don't want to reach out to anybody because you just don't know who will help you or who will believe you as far as what went on. And not being with my kids and trying to fight for my kids, I went through all of that. Not just child support because in North Carolina, there's 2 different courts. You have the child support court and then custody. So I went through all of that. And it just seemed like I didn't have anybody to help. But I didn't give up. I kept the fight up. And I was successful. One thing I can say is just don't give up. And then just keep looking for resources. Because one, I felt as though I had to do it alone. And I didn't reach out. I wouldn't say it's pride, it's just, didn't feel like anybody was there to help me. And, moved on, kept in contact with the kids and, custody. So I was getting them on the weekends, things of that nature. It was rough. I'm going to tell you that. It was rough. So I understand the child support. I understand all of it. And I have to say, it paid off. Because guess what? Right now, my youngest daughter, she drove down from Raleigh, North Carolina. She's here to see me again. Happy Father's Day. Not abruptly, but we have a date at 8.
Well, I know you're a good brother, man. I see that shirt you got on.
Oh, yeah. And then my son, he's in the Navy. He's going to Chicago next month. And then my oldest daughter, all of them have side hustles. And it actually came from me. You talked about side hustles. Barber, paid that child support. I got my barber's license. And I also got my real estate license. I'm a residential real estate broker. and I'm also notary. And my children saw that in me. I didn't give up. And that's what they say, Daddy, I want to be like you. I'm not giving up. And, you know, that just touched me. I don't even have words for that. All I can say is just don't give up, and I want to be more involved in the community because that's what I want to do. I can do it for my children, I can do it for my organization, which well, already an organization which I do that, but I just want to do more. You know, like I said, it's a great feeling to just, you know, to be that inspiration for young people.
I love that emotion. I hear you, bro. Yes, it's funny. I have a book. No, man, it's all right. It's all right. I have a book titled "The Struggles and Joys of Fatherhood." I want the young men to know their struggle but their joy. And I would always ask young men, how did they feel the first time they heard their child say, "Daddy, Daddy"? It was so sad when one guy said one time, he heard a kid say that, but he had never spent time with him, so he was kind of like looking around, like, what are they talking about? That was sad, bro. To me, that was so sad that he couldn't even recognize it. So to see that emotion come out is good, because like you said earlier, a lot of guys don't do it. And I think that's one thing Quave is learning about, right? That, like these guys, I told them, you're going to be talking to guys 40 years old, who you're the first person that they had a good, constructive conversation with in months, you know, without talking about this, that, and other, which is insignificant. But I told them there's going to be guys that like really appreciate your time, just talking to them about something other than something stupid. You know, so thank you, brother.
I appreciate it. Guys, you hear that?
Yeah, you
especially
see the
the young
emotion.
guys. You see the emotion come out of the man because men need men. We need men. You got to open up the talk. I got stuff just like you, all the words. Yeah, get the mic from me over there.
Why you always tell me we're going to keep that in?
Well, no, they said, what you said, you said, see, I want y'all to see it's not well, it's real. This is what happened. You know, so I was worse than you, but you're doing good.
But he came from it. He came because he got stuck. He was, you know, he was literally stuck. Big as strong as he is, he got stuck. And because the emotion was there. And you see, he stuck to it. He hung with me. He didn't take it like I did something bad to him. I was just helping him at that time. So it's good to see when guys have emotions. You know, and I hate that some part of our society makes them feel bad about that. You know, to make them feel bad. Like, you're a man, you shouldn't. When I hear guys tell people that they teach their boys, never cry, never do this, don't ever say you're sorry. I don't get that. I don't get that. Yeah.
Good evening, my name is Greg Bird. I currently work with the City of Orlando at the J.R. Smith Center. I've actually been a volunteer youth football coach for 35 plus years here in the City of Orlando, here at the Callahan Center and now at the Smith Center. I've been volunteering with Young Fathers of Central Florida with Harkeet, I think since day one of his inception.
Day one, he was the first person I met in Florida. First one.
And I'm a father to a bunch of kids. Believe it or not, I get calls from kids. Like this Sunday, I get calls from my players who actually see me as their fathers. And that's just a role and something I'm going to continue to do in the community. I'm in a plethora of organizations, and they're all based about service. I think I was put on the earth. I took one of those personality tests, and I'm a helper. And that's what I love to do, and that's what I'm continuing doing.
Thank you.
All right, good evening. My name is Evan Williams. Currently, I am the Director of Operations at Career Source Central Florida, but I can contribute my career to actually starting right here in this community back in 2010 and matriculated through my career with amazing mentors like Mr. Hakeem, Mr. Joe and a lot of other people at that time that were doing some really great work. And I came in fresh out of school, was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And literally have done just about everything in this community, from starting parenting programs, teen programs, economic assistant when the city took it over, to just about the youth sports, everything I've been able to do in this community. And when I think about where I'm at in my career now, where I oversee almost 200 people and doing some major things, control millions of dollars, it's because of the great people in this community that really put an effort into mentoring people. So I want to start with that. But at Career Source, our goal is to assist Central Floridians in getting into jobs and helping businesses find the right talent. In addition to that, we also help with individuals that want to go back to school. We help with whatever the obstacle is. We pay up to $7,000 for someone to go back to school. And then we also are the organization when most state organizations or state contracts from the Florida Department of Commerce gets assigned to this region in one of the 5 counties that we oversee. A lot of times they have to work with us on the workforce component. So I know a lot about a lot of the organizations in the community because many of them have to get a letter of support from us, and then once they do get it, then we do some type of component of helping them with their workforce needs. So happy to be here. Been involved with Young Fathers of Florida for quite some time. I think the year I started in 2010. I met Ms. Haki, invited me to the first conference, then been involved in everything when we started at Daytona, at BCU, to just about everything that he's done. So just excited to be here to learn, also to figure out how I can also be a resource to so many. I would say don't ask me for the money tonight. I don't have any. Not usually I won't. Had to put that out there because people hear, well, yeah, you career source, your budget $30 million a year for the community. No, not necessarily. Not all the time. But just really wanted to be a resource for the community and making sure that my goal is to make sure that the money that is meant for communities actually goes into the communities. Instead of it just being, oh, we did a workshop at a community, that was the money, but no, actually putting this money actually into community programs. And so that's one of my main focuses, because it's where I started, in the community centers. So I'm trying to make sure that funds are funding back to the community.
Thank you. Evan is being modest. Evan used to run everything. I would ask for any, I don't care what it is, screens, anything technical, I do it. He got a lot of skills, but he has a lot of resources. So everyone, please I'm going to ask all of you, because some of you left your email with us. If you don't mind us sending that out, you could. But if not, get it. I mean, you hear the resources that's here. So please get contact information from the people that's here.
Good evening. My name is John Francois. I'm located in Orlando, Florida. I actually seen an annual Father's Week online. I spoke about it with my clients. I have my own financial practice here in Orlando, partner with New York Life. I work with a lot of young athletes with NIL, and now that I'm back in Orlando, I'm working with young professionals, teaching young men, single fathers, young fathers how to try to get financial literacy, things like that. How to stay ahead with financial start. Before getting into the corporate world, I was a professional athlete. I went to Olympia High School here in Orlando, and then IMT Academy, played to Florida, up to Florida State, played football there. Got my undergrad in social science, and I went to Hampton University in Virginia, got my master's in sports administration. Played ball for a couple of years, from 2020 to 2023, and then I decided to hang up the cleats and do something that serves my purpose. They didn't teach me about finances in college, in high school, or at home. My parents didn't teach me. I only had a mom, didn't have a dad. I had father figures in my life. One guy, when I moved to Orlando, his name Barry White. He's really big into the father figure for me. I have a son of my own, 2 years old. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I did notice it was an executive board meeting. I didn't get an invite, so I apologize.
That's quite all right. But where did I know you from? You play poker? No.
Yeah, I just came over from the office. I see.
That's fine.
seen it and I was like, I'm gonna go, and I'm glad I came. I'm glad to see you all here, and yeah, that's what it's my meeting.
Good, and I hope we stay in touch. This is invited because we want to know that the people that's coming are going to, we don't want people coming and just looking, just coming and just look. We want people always say, man, you come, how can you not have you speaking? Because, right? Because I like, you know, I want you to offer something, because we all got things to offer. But some people, they just been used to not talking, thinking that it's bragging or something like that. There's none of that. Look, we need resources. And the only way we're going to know what you do is you have to tell us. So, I'm glad you're here.
Point of order.
Yes.
I did not sign up for another board. Hakeem, what is this like?
Boy, I don't know. No, this is a round table.
You know, this sign.
You slip out. You better slip out, man. Yeah, you better slip out, bro. They didn't know what I was setting them up for, bro. I don't know about you now, bro.
You said I got a little trigger like, oh, no. I was like, you know what? I got you.
What's that? I can't be signed up for out there. Look at Mike said looking at us serious because he don't know. He said, what are you talking about?
I was joking.
No, that's funny. Go ahead.
No, I was saying this guy right here, I don't think he really, I'm a huge Florida State fan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know what you did at Florida State.
Yeah.
He was the quarterback at Florida State.
He's a quarterback?
Yeah, man.
I knew him was something.
And he did a darn good job. He did his thing at Florida State.
Yeah.
So he always did on people for that. But yeah, I know who you are.
See, I know y'all got a lot of secret stuff, y'all. I know it because y'all can say, he gonna be asking me, he'll be like, bro, I need you to come speak to some of these brothers. Justin.
Yeah, he was sorry for that.
Yeah.
Glad you got that. My name is Crystal Powell, but I wanted to help my sister out that left. I'm a biological sister, but those of y'all that know, right? DJ ECD. So she's on 94.5, and she wanted to put it out there that if there are events or your organization wants to get the word out, that she has the platform on the radio, online, whichever way she's disseminating that information, that she really wanted to get everyone's information, but she had to go on air for Kyle Root. So Hakeem, I'm going to tell her to touch base with you all now, get people's information, or somehow communicate Lisa's information with everyone, because she's willing to put the information out there for the community.
Right, and another thing about Nisi that a lot of people don't know, she's more than a DJ. She works for the city. What's her actual? She has the aquatic.
Yeah, she's over the pools.
Right, so when we do pool parties and all that, we call them DCD. So our next pool party is September 6th, I think. So a lot of people don't know, they think she's just a DJ. That's her. It's not her hustle. I don't know which one is which. But Nisi does a lot. So if you know people, adults, children, who want to learn to swim, all that, Nisi is the one to contact, for sure.
All right. Good evening again. My name is Crystal Powell. I guess I've been with Young Fathers of Central Florida since forever. Honorary moms, children. But I guess I'll talk about Young Fathers first before I get into a logo. I don't know what Hakeem saw in me, but if there's anything he sees, anybody in this round table, he's going to pull it out of you, he's going to put you to work, and it sounds like everybody's willing, right? We're all here to help our community and help others. So if he's listening, he's like, this person could do that, because I didn't know what Young Fathers of Central Florida was. And he was like, oh, Crystal, you know how to type. Yeah. You know how to make this form? Okay. This is back before, now we're in 2025, right? Now everybody has Chat GPT or whatever and is doing it for us. But make this form, or I'm an educator, 27 years in Orange County Public Schools. And then all of a sudden it was like, let me tell you, here's some grant. And I don't know, read this, what you think it's saying? You know, those kind of things, so that I learned about grant writing.
Start your own business?
Yeah, starting my own business with grant writing and just, you know, anything dealing with writing. I do enjoy that. But to piggyback off of the skills that I developed while volunteering with Young Fathers of Central Florida is that now my day job with Orange Technical College West Campus in Kobe, our new campus, is that I am the lead coordinator of a $500,000 grant program for adults with disabilities. And so we have 2 programs that help adults with intellectual disabilities, so gain employability skills, and then because we're at a technical college, they learn technical skills as well. Not the full programs, but to be an assistant in the industry of whatever that technical skill is. And so, yes, I have to write the grant, and I have to do reports, and yes, we've done several reports. And so, you know, hockey's always looking to pour into people or help build people up, not only the fathers, but whoever he's bringing on the team, and just having everybody work together for that common good and to just bring it back to the community. And I just want to, you know, let people know that Orange Technical College is also the best kept secret in Orlando. We do have 5 campuses. There are resources up there, businesses. We're connected to Career Source. There's many other, I think it's Community Action Network. So there's so many community organizations that are connected to Orange Technical College as well. And young fathers need to know that these technical skills are very much needed or can provide the foundation that if they finish at the technical college, they can go on to Valencia, they can go on to 4-year universities, expanding on those industry skills. Our campus primarily works with construction and human services, so cosmetology, we don't have barbering, and that's a whole other conversation of why we don't have barbering through the state and money, right, that people report. But we have cosmetology, facials, nails. Some of our programs, I believe right now, we're running carpentry for free. You can sign up and enroll for our carpentry program, and it's free. So if you want more information, I have a few business cards, or you can take a picture or whatever.
You said the carpentry?
The carpentry program is free enrollment right now, free tuition.
For anyone? Any age?
So Orange Technical College is pretty much a reinvent yourself. Either you don't have a job and you want skills, or you want to improve on something else, build upon something else. Again, our campuses, so in Kobe, we do the construction, so we have HVAC, electricity, carpentry, building construction, plumbing, and then in the human services. And then at the East Campus or Winter Park area, because they're getting a brand new campus over there, University High School, is technology. Down in South, OPT and John Young, the South Campus has automotive, they have culinary, so there's different programs at each campus. And I think I mentioned Avalon, no, downtown, near the school board building is medical. And so if a person is interested in any of those programs, they just need to go to that campus, they can walk in, talk to a school counselor, and just go from there. So they'll ask if the person has their high school diploma. Plus we have GED programs and ESOL programs for those that want to learn English as well. But there are a lot of resources that will help pay for the schooling. And that's what people don't really know. You know, they're like, how am I going to pay for this? They just need to go in and talk to the school counselors, because the school counselors know what resources are plugged into that campus or program so that they can go to school for free. And even one of the programs that I run for adults with intellectual disabilities, we have a scholarship program. Our students get about $7,000 for the year, so $35,000 per each semester. And it pays for the tuition, it pays for their books, it pays for the tools that they use in the technical program. Sometimes they get some money back. We order a laptop for our students because we can't do everything on our cell phones. So it just depends on what program a person is interested in, and then they can get plugged into some resources that are available to them.
So is admission difficult? Is admission difficult?
Admission, basically, they're looking to see if the person has a high school diploma or a GED. They're going to start with that first, because for every program, they have to take a test to see get their certain reading or math level, because, you know, people think trades programs are easy. Oh, you just use your hands. No, there's a lot of math, calculations, there's chemistry, there's a lot of different things involved. But the number one skill for anything in construction or technology is tape measure. Read and tape measure. You have to learn to read and tape measure. As far as I know, there's openings. It just depends on how many openings there are. So I don't think, and plus with our programs, depending on how long they run. So if it's like a 1.5-year program, because it goes by hours. So some programs are 1,050 hours, some are 1,200. Depends on the program. Something like Dales would be 100 and something hours. So it depends on the program, how many hours it is. Clock hours, which means they have to physically be present in class for their attendance to count. So it's a year to 2 years max. Then with the construction trades, there's apprenticeships, where you go get a job, work full time, and then you come to school 2 nights a week. Most likely the job is paying for that. And so you can get your apprenticeship within 4 years, and then you go wherever you want to go after that. You leave the state. Yes. So you're getting paid, you're working a real job, you get hired somewhere, union or non-union, and then get in the apprenticeship program.
May I ask you a question on intellectual disability? Is it autism? It is involved in that?
Not necessarily. So intellectual disability would be someone that has Down syndrome, traumatic brain injury, something could have happened at birth. So we're looking at the federal definition of 70 or below intellectual ability through a educational evaluation. And then, so there's 2 tracks, right? So the other program would be for someone that has autism, but could be on borderline, right? They're not intellectually disabled, but they have autism or ADHD. They might want to go on the other program. And really, the other program to me is more of a foundation of getting my feet wet while I go into post-secondary education, or I just want to see what this program is about, the technical program. And then after that, if they want to go into the full program, they have an opportunity to go into the full program.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rebecca Taylor. This is actually my first time attending Young Fathers of Central Florida. I was invited by Bonnie. I am an attorney and a mediator over not 20 years, but I have about 14 years of experience. I was a prosecutor. That's how I started out. Did some dependency work. So I'm hearing like all the different resources in here. Did some civil and personal injury, and that's what landed me to become a mediator full time. So I am both certified in family mediations as well as civil mediations. My passion projects, I'd say, are kind of still in the making, but I think that's maybe why I was invited this evening, because in addition to mediation, I just find it very important to teach individuals about conflict resolution and the benefits of it, as well as providing legal education to the underserved and those people that don't have that. And so I think that's probably the primary reason I was invited here tonight, because there are so many individuals that kind of have no idea how the legal community works and what goes on and how they should be coordinating themselves in different situations. And so as both a mediator and an attorney, I help in those aspects. And pretty much
Okay, so we get everyone. All right? Now, I'm passing these brochures around. And if you have one in your brochure, that's okay. Just pass it on. You have it already. This is Young Fathers of Central Florida. These are programs. Okay? Does any of you know much about fatherhood in the United States? Okay. Did any of you ever come to the conference that we hold? We hold a conference in February, and we invite other cities to the conference. Well, the first conference for young fathers that I ever heard of was in London in 2010. All right? They don't have their conference anymore. They come to here in Orlando, right? The reason I started the national conference is because I wanted to invite practitioners throughout the country who's working with young fathers, who want to start young fatherhood programs, to come in one place and to talk about best practices, how to assist one another, because whenever I go across the country helping cities start their fatherhood program, they always think they're the only young fatherhood program. I don't care where it is, from Houston, Texas, to New York, to California. They think they're the only one. So I wanted to start the conference here. The conference is held every February, the last Thursday and Friday of the month of February. I just wanted to bring them together and understand that they were not alone, and I wanted to build communications across country. Right now, fatherhood across country is growing. If you look at the state of Ohio, they have about $500 million in funds going towards fatherhood. They're the only state in the country that has a statewide fatherhood commission. Another state that is unique beyond most other states is South Carolina. South Carolina was the first other state that really focused on young fathers. The reason I focus on young fathers, and that's my entire career in New York and here, is because 90% of fatherhood agencies across the country don't begin engaging fathers to the age of 27. 90%. Most fatherhood programs won't even talk to young fathers. They don't have any outreach to young fathers. Does anyone have any idea why? Why don't they even want to talk to young fathers? First of all, young fathers they don't vote. So they have no political voice at all. They don't pay child support. Most of them stay home with their mothers. They don't have any resources. And the third thing, they think they don't behave. They don't listen. I have guys all across the country. How can you still work with bad young fathers? And another thing, what's the agency that we just heard of? Was that in the library there? No, not library there. Yeah, the one that charged the fathers. Yeah, cool dad. They charge fathers, and right from the beginning when I heard that, they found it, and I was like, oh, they not working with any fathers from the neighborhood that needed the most. They working with fathers with money. Because people often say, I can't believe you ain't getting paid just for them. I said, I would never ever develop a program where I'm going to these young men who have nothing to get money from them. That's why we have people on that board, those sponsors. They pay for it. All right? I said, I'll get money so that our young men don't have to pay when they don't have. So people often ask, how do we survive? If you look at our programs, and they say, you don't ask for money, right? Why you're not here paying for money? I said, look, I'm going to get resources. All you know me. I came from New York. I didn't know one person in Orlando. Not one. Some people don't believe that. I didn't know one person in Central Florida. I didn't know one person in the entire state of Florida. And they wonder, how you going to get money? The only money down here is with retirees and theme parks. And there's no state tax like you had in New York. Where you going to get money from? There's the will, there's the way. So that's why they laughed at me and said I wouldn't last more than 3-4 years, because they said there's no money here. So I said to myself, how am I going to start these programs? The first thing I did was that talking to me about community centers in the beginning. Someone was talking about, they were talking about starting programs in community centers. I said, that's how I started here. People was wondering how I was growing and didn't have any money. Well, I wanted to know where could I get fathers from. I didn't know where the fathers were. Go to community centers. Community centers with basketball courts. There's fathers there. And they don't ask you for any money. Kim and Joe will show them up like, she said, what? You want to do something with some fathers? They're not charging you. So when I go to other cities, the first thing I ask them, did you go to community centers? Because people start saying I wasn't running around begging for nothing. I said, I'm going to find a resource within the community. That's how I build. That's how I got to know person after person. Thank God for Representative Geraldine Thompson at the time. God rest her soul. She was the first one to give me any office space. I remember her saying, you want to do what? Fathers, teen fathers. I said, yes. She said, you got office space? I said, nope. She said, come. She showed me the little closet of her office. She didn't know in New York we used to have 4 desks in this office. I was like, I'll take it. Right? All you know, Representative Thompson, Senator Thompson, she was there for me. So that's how we build it. So I'm saying all this to say, all these programs here, and another thing, people wonder why my programs across the country, how your programs so successful all the time? Because I give the community what they want. Every program here, I can sit up here and act like it was because of my genius. It was because of the community asked me for it. Whether it was a dad-to-dad mentoring program, just the gentleman, for 10 and 13-year-old boys, mothers kept saying, do you have a prevention program? I said, no. That's when it started. So I started programs that the community asked for. And then I went to get people to pay for it. So every one of these programs, someone else pays for these programs. Not everyone pays for these programs. Disney sponsors them. The city sponsors them. The county sponsors them. Disney, that's a whole other story. What's the first thing you think people say, get money when you come to that? Go to Disney. I went to Disney, all of you know this story, most of you. I asked them, I needed money. They said, well, you sound real good, and we like it. We're not going to give you any money this year. We're not going to give you any money next year. We're not going to give you any money the year after that. We're not going to give you any money the year after that. And we're not going to give you any money the year after that. I said, damn. I thought y'all liked my program. I'm feeling like defeated. They said, Kuma, we can't give anybody any money until we have 5 years of financials. You know, I'm like, okay. So they had to vet me for 5 years before they would give me money. And all the brothers like, hey, you did that Disney hookup. I said, brother, they had hookup 5 years. They checked out everything. They want to know, all you know, they want to know how you bring money in and how you spend money. You got to show them that you can bring money in and you can spend money. They even said something to me one time, I took out $20 at ATM. What's that for? So, these programs are all funded by different sources. I wanted independence. I wanted to be able to do what I want. Who heard of Even Bush Foundation? Okay, you heard earlier, you know they don't give money to people, just to everyone. When I started to get money for them, they didn't give money if you work with alcoholics. Speaking of substance abuse, we did. I said, oh, okay. I guess I won't get any money from you. So those are the obstacles that I had with these programs. And if it wasn't for the people that's sitting here that said they built me 10, 15 years, that's how we did it. And that's how we did it. But fatherhood in this country is growing. I mentioned the states that I focus on young fatherhood. But the reason I wanted to start my own conference is because the National Fatherhood Program didn't give young fathers a platform at their conference. So I wanted to start mine because they don't work with them. So you go to some of the large fatherhood conferences, you won't even hear them talk about the teen fathers. You will not hear it. So, okay, any questions on any of this that we do? Any of our programs? Okay. You don't have one question. Oh, I didn't do good. I did a good job. Yes. You mean I explained it that well? Okay, before we get out of here, because I like to start on time and I like to end on time. I know. and you can partake of anything over there. You can get up at any time. But I want to hear from you guys. if you could, and one person in here, something that services they provide that you're really interested in. A service, something that they do. We got everything. I mean, counseling, architecture, attorneys, schools. Is there anything in here that one of you wanted to know for so long?
Yeah. I started one of my programs is a youth advocacy program where we're teaching young men and young ladies about child advocacy in the community. But what I did this year was add a component that had a financial literacy piece to it, just to test it to see if it was something that we could do. And so I'm definitely interested in that.
Cool, yeah, we can connect. We actually have some things planned around Orlando, a couple of middle schools and high schools. In there, like some school programs and some seminars, and then we do lunch and learns for teachers and stuff, just to get right into it with everybody. Needed, some financial education. I mean, my business are after.
Yeah, we started financial literacy years ago. And those of you know, we have a program at Orange County Corrections. We go in the correctional facility, and that was one area that the correction officers, there were so many in our classes, we had to ask some of them to leave. Because they were listening. What we did, we developed portfolios for the guys there. The only thing I didn't realize is some of them brothers in there got money outside and they was doing their thing. You know, some of them brothers. I was like, bro. They like, you know, I'm in there talking, right? I said, look, your wives and your girlfriends, and because a lot of those brothers, you know, people think they're not listening, but they were listening. Because just the mock portfolios, they were making money. A lot of them, they was picking stock because I teach them how to select stocks and so forth. And then we had a total financial investment portfolio. So whether it was, we dog checking accounts or savings accounts, and then you get 0.00, right? So we don't, if I'm wrong, let me know. And so we talk about just diversification, whether it's, and what percentage should go into different areas, whether it's a brokerage account, crypto account, and towards insurance, assurances. Those young men were listening. They were listening. Then we talked about equity when you have homes. But some of them had, I was like, who all had homes? I just threw it out there like it was, I don't know why I said that. Like, I knew it was like half of them had homes. So you figure, what you here for? Circumstances. So they had homes, they had money, So I realized it was a whole nother ball game there, because, and I ain't gonna lie, I went in there thinking, like, it was looking at me like, bro, yeah, they looked at me like, bro, keep talking. I was like, keep talking. They was like, ready. And they were listening, but financial literacy is big because they don't know. People ask me about crypto and this and that, where should they put their money? People don't know what they 401k, if it's good, if it's not. People have IRAs and don't even know what's in their IRA. So that's why a lot of the officers wanted to know what was going on, because they make money. And they know what to do with it. So we definitely got to teach that.
There were quite a few. So our first week at our school, we have what's called a business week. So it's bringing our students back to campus, learning about resumes, how to address success, how to interview, how to fill out applications. So, and of course, we're a career academy, so the resources, Orange Technical College, career source, the community centers, anything around employment, education, even the finance, even the STEM and architecture. We try to expose our students to other careers besides being a rap artist and player, like seriously, this year in August, we've already, thanks to Charles back there, we have a person coming in on finance and AI and STEM. It's a black female scientist. And so I don't know if they've ever seen a person with a doctorate in that field. So even just exposing, I would love to get contact information so that we can share these resources with our students and hopefully get people to come out and see what we're doing at our school to educate our
So we have our first event coming up actually in the month of the 28th, and we still need a lot of things. One of the things that we were just talking about on the way here is our fatherhood event. We're part of parenting success program. We're going to be having a attorney who's going to be there to talk about rights and responsibilities. We're going to do program education. But one of the things that I would like to have there is some of these examples. So like what's in the book, one of the things we want to do with the program, this is a very new program, but one of the things we want to do is have examples. So I do a lot of programs, and I help with a lot of programs, and one of the things that I kind of try to focus on is positive examples. We do enough complaining. Everybody knows somebody has a story. We need to start talking about solutions or how to get through things. And so these types of examples, we want like that in the room and in the space as a part of the development of the program. We need general volunteers. We need attorneys who with experience in fatherhood in general, because we are growing and we want to go to 28th this month. Saturday the 28th.
Does anyone else have anything that they're doing? Like anything that's coming up? Any program?
I'll make my plug. So with my business, Trap Baby, we have classes and we also have Trap Baby.
Trap Baby. Tell us where you get that name from.
Trap Baby. I will explain it. So trap is a type of hip hop music. So
right.
T.I. So yeah, that's trap music. So we utilize trap, clean versions of music, I promise you. Reggae, so pretty much any genre of music that we're listening to, we ask them to utilize that. But I have an event coming up on Saturday. We have this quarterly series called Family Events, which are parties for families. So we have a DJ, we have club style lighting. Swati has come to our event, it's a good time. And every quarter, we have these parties, we have different themes. So we had one in December, which was Christmas theme. We had one in March, which was Soca Sprout, so celebrating Caribbean music. And this one coming up on Saturday. As you all know, the cultural zeitgeist right now is all about cowboys and boots on the ground, so we are tapping into that. This one is called Rumble Ladies. So we'll be doing some line dancing, as much line dancing as college can do. But if you have a child or know someone that has a child birth to age 8, Margaret, for example, come on to our event. It's at the Heart of Westlake's Wellness Center. In Westlake, just a block or so away from the Campbell Stadium. It's $20 for kids. First kid is $20. Second kid going down is $17. And adults are free.
Jump in behind you. So a couple things. First, tomorrow, everybody has heard of the Bayou Kitchen and Lounge, Longwood. So we're doing a fundraiser. It's free to show up, but the more money they get spent on the restaurant, the more drinks are involved, the more they donate to our organization. So just want to come celebrate with us from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. tomorrow. But just to kind of expound a bit more on the nonprofit side. So Black Architects in Orlando, we actually had received support from Orange Technical College, Shannon Latimer, has been a great support of ours. Also, Sean Ronan with you guys. Career Source also. So we have an internship program, Power Through Career Sources youth internship program. So it's just actually keep up to date. We have 2 interns that are placed at architecture firms in Orlando. So you know, you're all students who would be within the age range threshold. If you have interest in architecture, we definitely talk about that. And then also we have scholarships that we offer. So graduating high school seniors that want to pursue architecture at a university level, we do have our scholarships are available. And then lastly, the way we operate, we do workshops that are centered around the built environment, we call it. And so these general workshops will happen periodically, almost once a month. Everything we do is absolutely free. We never charge the students for anything. So BAM.Orlando.org is our website. You can find everything over there. BAM, B-A-M, sorry, acronym, Orlando.org. And we have something it's called BAM Week Summer Experience coming up in July. We only do about 20 students because that's one of our more expensive weeks during the year. And so we'll take the students to Disney to experience theme park design. We're working with Rose and Brito, which is the largest platform architecture firm here in Orlando, and the city of Fort Myers County Eagle as well. During that week, and working on creating a project with the students. But yeah, that's just kind of in a nutshell some of the things that we do.
Everybody that's here, I want to invite you to come out and do my still barbecue Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm not busy doing that. But I want to give it to you so that I want this laying right back here. I want to do it for barbecue. Let go of good buddy now. City down there. My grandfather was barbecuing the quarter quarters. He was a black man who couldn't read or write. Purchased that land back in the early 50s, late 50s, early 60s, before I was born. And he said in his head, no one had ever worked. Father was still where he had to go to school, plots and everything, his old man did all of that. So I'm over it now. So I want to do something good in the community that's been marginalized. So just been, and I'm not wanting to sell out. I just want to do it right back in line.
Out there, many times organizations are always trying to figure out how the more we can connect to the resource, but they're like it's like a bulk getting into that later and trying to get connected. And I stay busy, trust me, I do. But one of the things I want to make sure that I make available is that every month we have what's called a one-stop operator meeting, which is a community meeting where we have certain community partners that are involved that talk about their programs, talk about what they're trying to do in the community. It's also a way for people to get resources, things that we are funding, the things that we are interested in doing and we want to partner with. So it'll be a great opportunity for any of the organizations here to listen in, talk about your organization, talk about how you can be a referral from us. What that means is that we have a two-way referral where we can refer participants to your programs and then you can refer people to us. The reason why that is so important is because right now unemployment rate is about 3.3, and we're seeing it slowly tick up. Once we get to unemployment at over 4%, that's when it's almost like red flag, we're getting ready to go into a recession. So we're seeing it going closer to that level. So we're trying to make sure that many community partners are involved with our one-stop operator meeting every month. It's a virtual meeting, 2 months, and then 1 month we'll do it in person. But it is a great opportunity to just hear. Also, it's a great way for me to hear what you all have going on. Because one of the things I realized as a community, we have so much going on all at once, but no one knows what is going on. So we are all spending our resources to promote amazing events where you can have, call it a nucleus, which is what we try to do every month. What you have coming up, what can we do to support? Plus in that, we have all of our community partners like Orange Central College, Valencia, Community Action. We have a lot of different programs that are involved with that. So I implore you all to please, I'll give my card, please email me and say, hey, I would love to be part of at least one of those community meetings, because it's one of the great ways, and I say it, I don't say it lightly, but we literally are the nucleus for money in the community. We go out and get it, want to be able to spend it. And so I would love to see us be able to spend some of those dollars or to support those individuals in your programs with maybe what are those barriers that they may be having or something along those lines. So please make sure you connect with me. I will tell you, you don't get the same day response because I am so busy, but I try to make sure my team is reaching out to as many people as possible. I want to get people connected, especially organizations just like University of Florida. If you have a true purpose and you're doing real work, those are the organizations I want to work with. Just because you got a name does not mean anything to me. What is their impact? I want to make sure that we're attached to the organizations that are true. Please make sure you get my card if you want to participate in those. Even if you have some ideas, I also want to know what are those things that you would like to see funded in the community? What are some of those things that you see are major needs? Because what's going to happen when we do, I hate saying it, but once we go into recession, generally is when we do get more money to do more things in the community. So I want to know what does the community want to see happen in the community. Last year I asked the question, what are some of those things you all want to see funded? I would say about 3 of those things that came from this meeting, we went and actually were able to get some money to get some programming done. So please, if you have any ideas, feel free to share them. If you want to participate in our community meeting, let us know. And then also, if there's anything that you want Career Source to come out to the table, or to just be a part of, or whatever the case may be, I go everywhere with data and all kinds of stuff. So whatever you may need from Career Source, because a lot of minority communities say that they have never been able to tap into what happens at Career Source. I'm telling people now that has changed over the last 2 years. We have a Black COO, Black Director of Operations. Not saying that changes a lot per se as far as organization, but our reach is different. Our outlay of what we want to see is a little bit different. So please make sure anything I can do to assist, please take advantage, because sometimes I see money that sits on the table and I'm looking for ways to spend it. I can only spend it in certain things. Like if somebody's been out of work for a long period of time, I can then spend money and helping that person get back to work. But as long as it's tied to some type of employment or some type of outcome, I can do some really great things and be very creative with the way I'm able to fund certain initiatives. So please utilize me for that. I just don't have the money tonight. But my funding starts over again on July 1. Make sure I say that again. July 1, my funding starts over, and one of the things I'm proud of is we right now currently we have about 1,600 youth that are going through a summer internship or summer experience. 800 of those students are actually interning with a business, learning actual employability skills and different things like that. Then we have the other 800 that are going through with some of our training providers say, I don't know what the world I want to do with myself. So we actually put them into some actual programs with some of our training providers in the schools and stuff like that. So we have so many programs at Career Source that I could literally talk all night about all the things that we offer. I would just say, if you're trying to figure out how we can connect, just schedule a meeting with me. You can send me an email. Let's figure out what it is that you need or how we can assist, because there is some type of way that we can help any individual that lives in Central Florida. So I just want to put that out there, because there are so many resources. And I pretty much, as I'm out in the community, everybody's like, Career Source, Career Source, Career Source. I'm like, okay, what can I do? And then I'm going to make sure I get everybody connected. So allow me to be the nucleus for many of you in your organizations and a lot of different initiatives that you're trying to do right now.
There's a lot of available funds out there that has to be given back each year. How many of you are familiar with Orange County Citizen Review? Okay, Orange County Citizen Review, they give money out in the spring and the fall, and they always have money that they're not giving out. And it's simply because, well, when they put out the RFP, they always say, okay, the deadline is, say, April 30th. Next thing you know, okay, we changed the deadline to May 30th. Why are they doing that? They're doing that because they're not getting enough response from people to ask for the money. So that's why when people ask me all the time, how do you get this money? Man, just open, just right? Just
as a grant writer, that happens way too much.
Yeah, way too much.
I don't know that.
Right. So Orange County Citizen Review, they do that. Whenever you see they moving the dates around, that means that not enough people is asking for the money. So, and unfortunately, you have a lot of people who have excellent programs, but they don't know how to. There's another thing, speaking of grant writing, you're a grant writer, she's a grant writer. Why do people feel like grant writing is going to charge you, $50,000 to try to get $10,000? I said, brother, you only trying to get, these people.
Well, I'm talking about something like,
but I'm telling you, because I have to, because we help so many agencies get funding. People come to me all the time to help them get funding. And I always ask them, why don't you fill this application out? Remember the Dwight Howard camp? The Dwight Howard camp gave $5,000 each camp season for, and you can get 20 kids in there. But of that $5,000, your agency only gets $250. So I filled out, and the application took 5 minutes, but no one else wanted to do this. How can you only get $250, but you can sponsor 20 kids? So it's not always about just getting a lot of money. That's good community living. And even in Callahan, there's kids we took from Callahan who end up working here. And hey, Miss Hakeem, you remember me? And we invited girls and boys. So we just didn't invite, and we never invited the kids who was the basketball project. We invited the kids who was the C student, but he helped his mama in the house. That's who we're going to get. That's who we're going to help. Because the other ones all the time, they get the best basketball players, and the little kids, the regular kids, can't get nothing. So there's a lot of money out there. It's just that now you've got 2 grant writers here. 3. And that's what we do. If we need a grant writer, she might have been helped. Yeah, that's right.
I offer to teach. I give classes. I wrote a book. That's teaching. And it's based on exactly on the training that I put together, the teaching person. There's ways that, I'm not, so there are some horror stories about grant writers out there. But
what about capacity?
That 10-minute application we just talked about. Anybody can do that. Their money, a lot of times people are so intimidated that money is $60.
Right, because a lot of times we can only get the administrative part of it. So they only paid us $250 out of 500, or out of 5,000. That was just administrative. Yeah. So to me, and being able to invite 20 kids, that was the benefit of it, not so much the money. But there's just a lot of money, like we said, that's out there. What about capacity building? Yeah.
Most of the people come to me for grant services, they get the capacity to talk.
Okay, good. Good, because a lot of people need to know what the grant writers or what the funders are looking for. Right. You know what I mean? And one thing I learned was start writing grants, because I wrote about 35 grants and I got 32 because I had to learn how to do it. That's right. Answer the question. Answer the question they ask you.
You answered everything.
You answered everything except the question they ask you. You're right.
That's the key. I say it all the time.
That's the key.
Can you talk about this in the days also, so just in case somebody knows somebody?
Yeah.
Oh, I did. Crystal, before you continue.
Okay, before we leave, we're going to take a quick picture. Chuck, we can do it together? All right, we're going to go ahead and take a picture. And some of the Go ahead.
Everybody, the first time, this is the second year I've come to see you last year. But I just want to say this about it's not about me, it's not about what he does, but I think that everybody deserves the cloud he's playing right here. He's on point. And the way he's bringing everybody together now, he wants us to get together network. You understand? And he's trying to give you the information to be better. It may not be about the young father or